So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this video and that you find it helpful somehow. So anyway, graph your notebook um, and a pencil or something for writing. And let's see, I am trying to make myself a challenge, and that is that I am going to tell you as fast as I can without developing 150 videos about it. I have a friend. He was here with a lot of friends of mine, and they were looking at me like, "I dare you! You will not be able to pull this off." And I was kind of like, "No, I won't." But then one of my friends said, "I think you can," and then I was like, no. And then it was a fight between people that said, I'm rooting for you, and then other people that were like, no, you can't because it's you. And so they said, I get everything done on the spot. And the problem that I have is that I am a teacher by heart, and so whenever I find a sentence, then I will explain to you everything within that sentence. And therefore, that's why people that are like this are methodical, and at the same time, they are very smart because they need to support all the knowledge and all of the processes and everything together. However, we're not very good at speeding. So they said, okay, do it on the spot. I would like to see if you can make a book by saying it and do it in less than an hour or so. So I'm going to take about an hour or so, maybe a little bit more. It's me, so bear with me. So I'm going to write it here with you. Is 101. Yes, I know it's a 101, and this is a number that I pick up all the time. See, I'm digressing all the time. So 101 tips for either saving you money or helping you make connections so that you can make money, or helping you make money. So I'm going to give a very tiny explanation about it, so bear with me. So first I'm going to write down here the topics, and then by the way, I do write fast, so don't worry about it. And yes, I do have handwriting that looks like a doctor. Probably you will never be able to figure out it. Would you think I'm alien? So here you go. Number 1. I will say buy an apron. Now, the reason being is that if you don't work with aprons when you're working with everything, then you're going to waste time and money either cleaning everything that you are making dirty, and even your clothing and all of that. And when you buy the apron, make sure that you buy for everyone in your family and buy for some visitors. So because if you are in a barbecue and you have visitors, they are not going to bring aprons with them. However, if they are going to make the barbecue with you, or they are going to grill something with you, they are going to probably make their clothing dirty or anything else, and then it will look horrible in the pictures. And at the same time, if you hand them an apron, it will look like you're considerate and you are planner, and at the same time it will help you build better relationships with everybody, because everybody will think that you are thoughtful and a lot of things. Therefore, it will be better for everybody, and it's cheap, and you can even buy them disposable, and so on. Now, number 2, I will say get all the recycle and the 4 R's. The 4 R's are reusable things like containers. Mostly it will be containers in your house, like the butter containers or the drink containers and all of those things. Now, there are several things that you can do with them, including but not limited to art. You can donate them in places that will do things with them, like gardening or other stuff like that, like even schools and things like this. Then there is one that is recyclable. The recyclable one is when you have somebody that can resell things like that. So that will be glass and cardboard and all the other stuff that people will collect to sell later. That you can just give it up, and some other people might be able to make money out of this, and you're helping other people. Then there is the one that says recycle, rebuild. Rebuild meaning you take something and you either rebuild it from scratch with these things. So, for example, you can tear apart one piece of equipment and like an old TV, and then you can take the carcass, the engine, the electrical parts, the screws, the electronics, even there are certain things like gold and others that are being sold, and people that deal with this stuff, they will tell you that they have found gold and they have found a lot of things that are very, very valuable within these things. So you can either take those things apart and then build something else, as in rebuild it into something else or refurbish it, or you can just remake it, meaning you take something out of this thing and you turn it into the same thing but better. So, for example, if it is a broken jar, you can place something within it, like small glass or small things that you can melt into this thing, plastic or whatever it is. There are people that will even turn these cracks and fill them with new materials and things like this, and then it will have a new life and it will be a unique item. So you are basically remaking them and stuff like this. So there are a lot of things that you can do these, and they will save you money and they will save you time and they will save you a lot of things. Because if you are going to get new containers, it's more expensive and at the same time it's more time consuming, and yes, it is a new thing. However, like I said, it is not about getting something new but rather getting everything out of your house like this. For this, you will need organization. You will need several containers in your house. One that says give out, as in things that you're going to throw away. Then trash, as in really throw away. And then there is another for cleaning, refurbishing, or whatever it is. And then you need several boxes. So it's easy. Just get the boxes or baskets and then place everything within them. And there is also upcycling of your clothing and all of those things. You can do this with other friends, or you can just take all of the old things and turn them into rags for cleaning, or even rags for the animals, like your dog or whatever it is. So that one will be that one. Number 3 will be get gardening, because that one is obvious. Number 4, it will be make your own vinaigrettes and all of the things that are sauce related, meaning you can make your own vinegar out of fruits that are about to be rotten, like banana, pineapple, apple, and all kinds of things. So rather than throw away things that are about to be rotten, you can create something out of them and place them apart. All you need are the containers, which should be glass, and the method and the timer, as in you label things like I started making this thing, so it's supposed to be 20 days, and then you put the date and then ready by this date. And you can have a lot of recipes and things like this. Write it down into an agenda or something like this, for your kids, so that they will know how to make apple vinegar or wine vinegar or banana vinegar or things like this. And it's cheap because it's something that you bought and you just don't have use for it. And so also you could use composting vinaigrettes or composting, and composting meaning you just put it everything into a blender and throw it into the garden like that. Or you can place it apart and wait for it to decompose and add more things, more layers, and then get it to make new soil. So there are two types of composting. One that goes, I'm going to just throw it with water and already mixed and already thrown into the blender and then throw it there, and then like nature take its course. Or you can selectively place in and then add more, and then you create new type of soil, which is that way you can take the soil and put it into another place. Now number 6 will be printing maps and printing things that are related to all the areas that are important to you. Now this is important because 9 out of 10 times when you ask people what are things that are near their house or near the place that they can walk to and things like this, they don't know. If you don't know your local area, then you are missing out on community events that are usually free. You are missing out on a lot of courses and things like this that your neighbors are going to be talking about. So your neighbors might be like, we have a club for reading, and we're teaching kids for free. And because we are grandmothers and we want to have all of this experience with everybody, and then you can use volunteering there, or you can participate with your kids, and then now you have a way for teaching your kids and getting everyone involved. And you don't know because you don't have maps and you have no idea where things are. Now if you're thinking, I can get all of those things online, no, the idea is not that you get everything online. The reason being is that if you are going to stop every single time that you're going to go anywhere and look for maps and things like this, it's easy, yes. However, it's just not going to be okay with your brain, because your brain needs to go places without you having to look for the cell phone. Now, the reason is, every single time that you open your cell phone, there is a 99% probability that you will be distracted. Meaning, okay, so I'm going to go to the community event. I don't know where it is. So I open my cell phone. And when you open the cell phone, you see a notification from your friends, or you see a notification from whatever, and then you go, oh, I have a note for this and that. Yeah. So now you're playing and you're doing all kinds of things on your cell phone, and you're late for the community event. Or now you go, and your brain goes, I am not going to go. And so now you are fighting your own brain to trying to go to get there, and all of these things because you took a detour. And your brain goes, we took a detour, we're not going. And you just not engage into anything. So you not having a printed version of these things, it will also be kind of like this. If something happens to your cell phone and you have no idea where you are or things like this, right, so now you panic. Let me explain. There were a lot of videos, a lot, like hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands, okay, of people that were the day that they didn't have internet on the United States because there was a problem, and they didn't have internet for like 3 hours. There were people, especially women, crying, saying that they could not go home. because the cell phone didn't tell them where to turn to go home from their jobs. And so now you're spending more fuel. Problem: fuel is limited, and if you didn't field the whole thing, now you don't know. So basically, you're not knowing if there is a problem with your cell phone. It will give you a lot of other issues, including but not limited to the fact that you will spend more fuel. You will avoid all other things. Your cell phone might be a distraction, and then it will just, your brain will start going down the rabbit hole again and again and again and again, because you didn't print maps and because you didn't use this one. So next one, with this one, is learn how to map without the internet. Now, this one is especially for emergency services. So let me explain. You are on a highway. You had an accident, and you're talking to emergency services, to 911 or whatever it is in your country, and they are asking you, where are you? And then you go, there is no data services here. I am calling you, meaning you can have signal for calling, but I don't have data services, and I do not know how to tell you where I am, and I do not know where I am. Yeah, that's also going to cost you a lot, because now you gotta have somebody talking to you on the phone about how to get your location from your cell phone. It is just an approximate. It's not going to be exact, but you need it for the emergency services. And so the emergency services will go, this is your latitude, kind of like nearby, and then they will go like that. Okay, they will look through for you through that thing. So it's important that you do this one for emergency services. Now, next one will be with the same idea that you want to learn about emergency things. It will be prepare for water problems. And for water problems means several things. Number one, it will be buying water tanks. And now this one is expensive, but here is the deal. If you have issues with water and you don't have water tanks, the cost of you not having water is not even an estimate. You can't make an estimate with the problems that you will have if you don't have water tanks and there is a problem with the problems. Number one, you won't be able to go to the toilet. Number two, you won't be able to clean yourself. Number three, you will have issues spilling water all over, and whenever you have issues with water that you're spilling because you're moving water from whatever source you have it, then it will be you falling, it will be you making a mess for cleaning, it will be you fighting even other people, animals, or whatever it is for the little water that you have, and it will be insane. So no, that one, avoid it at all costs by buying the water tanks. Also, if you don't have water tanks, you will have to pay for water tanks when everybody's buying them. Meaning, okay, so right now you are in good times and you don't have problems because a water tank can cost you $100. But if there is a problem with water, droughts, and everything, and every single person that you meet is also buying water tanks because they don't have it, now that water tank is going to cost you $1,000. So think about the market price right now versus market price when there is no market. And so no, cheaper 100 versus you spending 1,000 later. And so the water tank is just and you need to invest in this one. Then you also need to prepare for electricity problems. Now, electricity problems are varied. They are a lot. Electricity problems will come with number one, the problem about blackouts and darkness, and for that you need obviously batteries and all kinds of things related to flashlights. You should print an information sheet on different types of flashlights and different ways to determine which flashlight is better. And you should also have, side note, how many batteries that it require, where are those batteries, and the expiration date of those batteries, because if you need to check your batteries every month because you're thinking that they got damaged, no, the batteries have expiration dates, so now you kind of have an estimate on these things, which is quite important. And then no, B, for this point about electricity problems, it will be by the light bulbs that are emergency, meaning even if there is no power in your kitchen, you should have this in your kitchen and in your bathrooms. The reason being, okay, so there is no light in the entire house, but you have light in the kitchen, which is the most important place in your entire house, and then in the bathroom, which is the second most important place in your entire house. If you're thinking rooms or whatever, no. Reason being, if you're limited, then kitchen goes first and bathroom goes second. Reason being, okay, so how many times do you see that people have accidents in the kitchen, and how many times do you have accidents in the bathrooms? In your entire house, where are the places that you are more likely to have accidents? Kitchen and bathrooms, not your room, not halls. And so those are the places that you need to have full lights. And that is why you need to have those types that will last you 6 hours. And if you ration them, it will last you more. But you need to be aware of these things. So you also need to be aware of the fires at this point, because if you keep having issues with electricity, this means that there will be devices that will use boom, like air conditioners and others, especially old units. It will be a problem. The fires is just going to be one of those things. And then on top of this thing, you want to understand that electricity problems will come with you having to get generators on all kinds of things, like solar panels and all kinds of things like that. If you buy solar panels and if you get all of those things, let me tell you that you're probably not going to get your money back unless the society collapses. So if there is no collapse whatsoever, but rather you are in a regular time and you're getting solar panels, that will be kind of like you trying to buy potable water for showering. It will not make sense. So there are a lot of things that will not make sense for you to get during good times or during normal times just because you're thinking that the society will collapse or whatever. No, don't make those investments, because those investments are not going to be worth it, and you're going to be paying interest on them, and you're going to be paying a lot of money and taxes and all kinds of things into them, and they are not going to be valuable. I'm going to tell you right now, if the society grid collapses, leave. Just leave. Period. That's it. Why? Well, because you are going to have people that are going to be fighting over the fuel. You're going to have all kinds of issues, especially because it's not about your house. You're thinking, with solar panels I can get light in my house. Yeah, but that won't help you if you have to go to a doctor and the doctor doesn't have electricity in their office or in their clinic, or you need insulin and you need a lot of things when you're not in your house. So electricity is not about your house. No, it's about everyone, and it's about money. And so if that doctor has a generator, which probably he doesn't, but let's say that he does, then instead of charging you $100, which he would have charged you that in a good time, now he's going to charge you 500. Reason being, well, now he, as in the doctor, has to find somebody and pay somebody to go and get diesel for that generator or whatever it is. Or they have to go and buy solar panels or whatever it is. And even if they got solar panels, it's not going to be enough to run the equipment that it is in that office. So solar panels are not viable for equipment. It's like you trying to run a toaster on solar panels. It's just not going to work. And generators, not worth it because they run on time, and it doesn't matter how. It's like you can turn it off for 4 hours. That's it. After those 4 hours, they're gone. It's rarely stored. So rather than getting solar panels and all of those things, you need to get, or I will suggest that you get, inverters and things like that will actually collect electricity for you, and then you can just flip it. It's kind of like having a battery in your house. So the inverters will work with car batteries, and they will work with a lot of things that you already have. And so in case of an emergency, it will be more efficient to get those things. So for example, for charging a lot of the things that we had during the blackouts and during the power outages that we had, people used battery cars for these things, and they just had to get the cables and the inverters, and that's it. And so if you can find a way to get energy stored, then you can just go and swap it, and it will be the fastest, cheapest way to handle these things. And then so far 9, 10, 11, 12. So 13, the 13 one will be, so in terms of food, get stuff traded the old way, meaning, okay, so now the recipes that you have are mostly for this type of time, and it's more convenient, but it is not cheaper, and it is not more nutritious, and it is not better than the recipes and all of the things that used to be done when there were problems in the 1920s and the 1930s, as in over a century ago. So figure out what recipes and what other things were done 100 years ago, because they are probably going to be worth it today, and they are going to be cheaper than today. So let me explain. So today you go to the supermarket and you buy chickens already cut, already prepared, already everything, and you buy them in trays. Yeah, that is way more expensive. So buy an entire chicken and then learn how to make fat from the chicken, or oil from the chicken. It's going to give you about a jar, by the way. Each whole chicken will give you a jar about this size, sometimes this size, depending upon the size of this thing, about oil. Now, if you have this size of oil or this size of oil, it's cheaper. So the chicken will give you different pieces and different things that you can make that can turn into broth, and they can turn into oil. And then you can also turn it into different types of recipes that will feed you for an entire week, rather than buying the tray that will feed you for 2 meals. So it is going to be about you learning how to use knife properly. For this, the recipes, you need to print them, you need to watch videos, you need to learn. If you don't know because you're not a chef, then do all these things. If you're a chef, you probably already know these things. But which brings me to number 14, which is get knives that are properly and tools that are proper. So for example, if you want to prepare chickens and things like this and you're not very good, or you're just fast, and buy the scissors that are for cutting meat. That's it. You don't need the specialization, blah, blah. Just get the scissor, cut it, that's it. But can you take any scissor? No. You need to buy knives and scissors that are specific for kitten. If you don't get those, I don't know what to tell you. And then get the stuff to sharpen them. So sharpeners and for these things. But if you're going to make the sharpeners for them, here is the deal. I would suggest you print at least 5 different ways to sharpen these things. They can be done by the bottom of cups. There is you doing this thing with stone. There is you doing this thing with electrical devices. There is you doing things with the belt from all times. There is you doing this with other knives. There is you. So learn. Or, by the way, this is a skill. So if you have no idea how to do this one, because it is dangerous and because it is annoying or whatever it is, or because every time that you do it you still don't get it to the point in which is good, then I will suggest that you either get it to a place that can do this for you, or or just get it printed. It's extremely important that you print this information and you have it available all the time, because if you don't sharpen your tools, then you're going to have problems with the tools. And every single time that you have a knife and then you're you're using more force or whatever, the probability of you having an accident increases. And the probability of you destroying the thing that you're trying to make is also going to increase. And the probability of you screwing things up increases. So, cheaper. If you don't know how to do it, cheaper. Hire somebody and sharpen everything. And sometimes buying new ones is going to be even cheaper. And then just give these things to somebody that can actually make it work for you. There is a lot of men, especially men. Oh my God, men will help you out with this one. Men is like insane. It will turn you into new knives. And then you go, ooh, now I can cook. See what I mean? So ask, which brings us to the next thing, which is ask for help. Ask for help properly, meaning if your friend knows how to sew and you know how to cook, then trade. Say, while you're sewing me this thing, I will go and prepare dinner. While you are doing this, I will be making that. While I am making this, please go and do that. See what I mean? For this, you need to talk to people. And you need to figure out what you're going to do about it. Number 17 will be having an agenda with phone numbers. This one is for locals, because if you need a technician and the technician is from out of town and it takes the technician 1 hour to get to your place, it's more expensive. And if there is problems with fuel, that person is not. If it is like this, I have to go and return 1 hour and 1 hour. One hour to go, 1 hour to return. That is 2 hours of me staying in a car with fuel. So I'm not charging you $5 an hour. I'm charging you $10 per hour. Why? I used to spend 2 hours to get to you. out of my will. So no, you gotta find people that are within your local area, as in no more than half an hour from you. This is where your maps, you want to put like a circle. This is my house and this is a radius. Take a compass or anything and then just draw a circle around it, and you want that circle to be 5 miles, no more than that. And then everything that it is within that area, you want to try to figure out what do you have there. Also, if there is a collapse in terms of everything, because there was a storm, because there was an emergency, because there was a zombie apocalypse, because there were the aliens actually came, because now God knows what else, because everything goes, because all of a sudden there are holes all over, and now there are dungeons appearing everywhere. Yeah, so what do you have in your area that can help you, and where can you go to get things? And so it's important, an agenda with the phone numbers and the names, of course, of the things that are important, like technicians. Technicians for, number one, your kitchen and things that are related to your kitchen, like appliances and even your laundry room, somebody that can take care of your laundry machine, somebody that can help you with your refrigerator, with whatever it is that you have. Then of course you need technicians, and you need doctors. Then you also need nurses that can go home, because if you have elderly or if you have any kind of injury and you need to have a shot, or you need anything, you want to have people that come to you, because it's easier and cheaper. Because if you're going to go out to a hospital, yeah, so congratulations, you spent 8 hours to get a shot. Cheaper, get your local nurse with the prescription and everything. She's not going to charge you $5, she's going to probably charge you 20. But here's the deal, she's going to be there at certain time, get it done. You're not spending on gas, you're not spending 8 hours, you're not taking risk for going to a hospital, you're not doing anything, and you're certain that you're okay. Cheaper. So get all of those numbers, the technicians, the nurses, the doctors. There are people that will even take x-rays and do all kinds of things in your place, as in deliveries. Also deliveries food, deliveries for food. Oh, very important, water trucks and water deliveries. Water trucks and water deliveries. Deliveries meaning potable water, which is not water trucks, they are different. So deliveries for food, technicians, doctors, nurses, and of course pharmacies that can take care of everything for you beforehand. And so it's important that you have all of these things done. Okay, now let's see how many have we got. So also phone numbers for the mechanics for your car. I forgot that one. Yeah, my mom interrupted me, so sorry about that. And then I also added here phones for the emergency locksman, as in somebody, you have problems with your doors, you lock yourself out, you accidentally now have problems because your car is not working, your car is locked out, you don't find the keys, so keys and doors, insane. So you need to have all of these phone numbers in your agenda. Now you should have 2 copies of this agenda, one that goes very short into your wallet or your purse, and then one that goes into your house. So anyway, also get the phone number for the locksmith and the gardeners and loggings, as in people that can deal with trees that are now in your house. If you're thinking that you can call emergency services and things like this, you're right, you can call them. However, if there are actual emergencies, then these people are going to be overwhelmed and things like this. And a lot of the times, like half of the time, you will need the communities to take care of these problems within themselves. And if you have issues because there is a storm coming and you know that there is a tree in front of your house, and that tree is very, very, very likely just going to fall in your house and destroy your house if it is not cut, or trim or whatever it is, then you probably are going to have to find somebody that can help you out with that one. Reason being, well, nothing has happened yet, and so yeah, but now you have to have deal with permits and deal with all kinds of things. And so it's easier to find somebody that already have done these things, and they will tell you, I already have the permit, blah, blah, blah. And then that way you are not doing anything illegal. And if you hire somebody to deal with this thing, it will be way faster and cheaper than you having to go through a lot of hassle with the government trying to get permission to cut down the tree, or you're going to spend hours, lawyers, and God knows what else. And you might even get neighbors that are going to, destroy your reputation, or accuse you of things, or try to throw you into jail, blah, blah, blah. So no, get somebody that already have all the paperwork, and they know what they can do to take care of that tree that it is going to destroy your house before the storm. And so whenever there is a storm coming, you want to check your perimeters, because it's kind of like hurricane season. You need to buy the supplies. You don't go and buy the supplies 10 minutes before the hurricane or 1 day before the hurricane. You buy the supplies off season, which brings me to the next one, which is buy things off season. Buy things off season. Off season whenever possible. And so at this point, like I said, the login guy or girl that you hire, they will get the permit, they will get everything done for you, and they are experts on this thing because they make a living out of this thing. You, on the other hand, it's like you trying to put a kid to make a job that is for somebody that is supposed to be a university level. And so no, you are going to screw everything up, because that university person, they knows what the hell they are doing. But you, on the other hand, so hire professionals and have a list of all these professionals within your area. Because if you're going to have to wait, 3 days for that guy to show up, you want to have people within your community. You also want to have the numbers for animal controls, or people that are very likely non-profit organizations that deal with fauna and all of these things, because it is good times and you have animals that are going into your backyard. And if you're thinking, I can wait and I can call emergency services, whatever, okay, fine. However, like I just told you, during hard times, half of the time, emergency services will just not show up, or refer you to somebody else, or they will leave you hanging and you don't even know. And so it's faster, call them, animal control does it. Faster to also call poison control center, because if you have somebody outside that was bitten by a scorpion or a spider, or because certain spiders are poisonous, and by the way, they do not bite, but still, let's say that they were attacked by a spider, and now they are poisoned, or they have an extreme allergy and you have no idea whatsoever. So if you call the emergency services, that will work, and they will be certain to help you because you are a top emergency. However, the problem with this approach is that you're wasting time. And time is not on your side when you have 10 minutes to solve the problem. Especially, let's say that you have other issues like your pet or someone in your house just was drinking chlorine or whatever it is. You want to have these and you want to have it printed in your refrigerator and printed in your wallet with all of these things that I just told you. It's just one of those things. So now I have told you 28. So number 29 will be buy things off season. Number 30 will be buy things with a list. Now, this list, you want to make it different types. So you want to go list by pharmacy. By the way, pharmacy, you're supposed to go there once per year to replace things that are first aid supplies, medicine supplies, and equipment supply. And you want to make a list because there are a lot of things that they are probably going to be very expensive, and so you want to buy them once per year, and then next year you buy the next thing, and then the next year you buy the next thing. So for example, the first year you might buy an oximeter because it's expensive. It's not going to be $1 or $2 or $3 or $5. It's going to be probably 20, 30, 40, 50. You want to buy nebulizers. You want to get a list of all kinds of things that you want to have in your house. And the thing is that you don't know them until you have people that need them within your house. So for example, if you have asthma or you have diabetes or you have people that are allergic or you have people in your house that have other issues like emphysema or wheelchair or other stuff, they will depend upon your situation. And you also need to buy this list once a year for your pets. And so for the pharmacy, then there is the hardware store. In the hardware store, you're supposed to get replacements for certain tools, equipment, measurement devices, and there is a lot of things that will probably need to be sorted out, like nails, screws, O-rings, and all kinds of things that you have spent, and even organizers. And you also want to get the label maker, the one that is probably about $50, a label maker to organize things in your house. And then you want to buy furniture and kitchen and other devices that you are supposed to have replaced, repaired, refurbished, or whatever it is. That one is for a home department store, like even music equipment or whatever it is. Make a list, do everything by list, and whenever you have certain things, take the measurements in that list. So for example, I want to place drawers within a closet, or I want to place containers within the kitchen closet. Okay, so you buy containers and then you ended up having a waste of a space because you didn't measure the thing. So when you are going to make this list, make sure that you take notes on several things. Number one, if the brand is extremely important, doctors will tell you this one. And certain people will tell you this one, because if you don't buy the right brand, you're kind of screwed, especially if you buy refrigerators, blenders, or others. Because if you buy brands that are popular, then you can buy the spare parts easy. However, if you buy a brand that is foreigner or is not that popular or whatever it is, then you finding spare parts for that thing is going to be like, you need to throw away that one because you won't be able to find the spare parts. And so when you are making this list, think about number one, the brand. Number two, if it is not important because you don't care, then that's it. But number two, how easy or how difficult it is to clean and maintain these things that you're getting. And if you need containers or if you need to buy something else. So for example, if you have a first aid kit but they're going to sell you everything in a plastic bag, now you need to buy a container. So is it worth it to buy it without the container or with the container? And the container, does it fit when I need it to be fit? Because if it is this big and my purse, it is this big, then I won't be able to fit it in. And so think about space. Number three, think about space and measurements. And if it is possible, like I said, let's say that you have a closet where you're putting all of the things that are supposed to be for medical things. So you have a space that is specific for the nebulizer. So the nebulizer goes here, and you have this space. And your nebulizer, it is this big. Now you gotta rearrange everything because your nebulizer is not this size. See what I mean? So think about making the list about the brand, the easiness for cleanings and maintenance. If you're going to get, for example, a vacuum, but you need to buy all the freaking time vacuum supplies for the vacuum, yeah, versus you buying a vacuum that it can just have a reusable filter. It might be more expensive, but the maintenance and the use for this thing is just not worth it. It's kind of like when you buy a printer and then every month you have to spend money on cartridges, and you will be able to tell that the cartridges are going to be sometimes, I swear I have seen videos of people saying this thing, and then I'm looking at you kind of like, yeah, that's why you want to make a list and you want to make the brand. It is so important that you understand the brand, and it is so important that you understand the cleanliness and maintenance. Because the cartridges will cost you $90. Cartridges. And the printer will cost you $100. And the same thing goes with even the cell phones. You buy the cell phone, and then you're thinking, they told me that it has high memory. The memory is this big. And so I'm so good because I do so many things with the freaking cell phone, but now the memory is like this. But what they don't tell you is that the things that are already in the device are using this much. So the usable memory that you have, it will be enough for you to download one thing, and then the cell phone will collapse. Why? Because it doesn't have memory. And then you go, but it's a brand new thing. That's why I told you. There are things in which the brand model, it is so freaking important. Because otherwise you just spend the whole money and it is worthless. Because it doesn't have enough maintenance free things within the list for you. And like I said, it's very, very important that you determine the space. So you want to do this by places: the pharmacy, the hardware store, the furniture store, the home department store, and then there is the school or office supply. Like I said, you need to have papers. This is insane. The amount of these things that you will run through in an entire year is insane. Schools and office and even your job supplies like staplers and papers and God knows. So like I said, these things you want to do it once a year. Most of them will be once a year. But when they come once a year, you go, oh my God, it is $300. Yeah. So also get this thing for, of course, the supermarket, the bakeries, supermarkets, bakeries, And the clothing. Now, the clothing, like I said, you want to buy off season. So make a list. Again, make a list to make sure that you are not buying things just because you want them. So, for example, you're going to the shoe store. Okay, so you're going to the shoe store. You should have a list that says per person you want to have plastic boots or rainy boots. Then you want to have running or exercising or walking. Then you want to have high heels or dressing or whatever it is for men and women, because not all the time you're going to be wearing anything casual. Sometimes you will have to go into a party or something like this, and you will need certain types of sandals or high heels or whatever it is. Then you also want to have sandals and comfortable shoes for being in your house. And then you want to have other shoes that are specific for whatever it is that you are doing or whatever it is that you are taking a thing. So, for example, if you have kids, they might need to go into a uniform. Maybe they don't, but if they do, then you need uniform shoes. You need sport shoes for that uniform. And if you are at your job, they might tell you that you need to go with certain type of color or certain type of shoe for your job. If you're a technician, you might need security boots. If you are doing this, and so make your list and buy it off season. So you might need winter shoes or summer shoes or whatever it is. Try to buy it in the season that it's not. So this one is going to be once a quarterly. So you also might need, like I said, for regular clothing, it might be you need belt or tyrants. You need accessories. You may need t-shirts. You may need skirt, dress, pants, shorts, swimming wear, towels for the swimming wear. You might need gym wear. You might need whatever it is. Get it once and that's it. Don't go kind of like, oh, I want to go shopping for the clothing. No, don't do that, because you will end up having a wardrobe filled with clothing that you do not use and you do not need. Or worse, is a problem because now you don't even have the space for it. And so, no. And while you're at it, you might need to get those bags that will sink because they can take the air out. And then you go, and then that thing that was like this size now became like this size, so that you can store it and properly store it, especially winter things. And the same thing goes for sheets and others related to your bedding, as in towels and all kinds of things like that. These things go once a year. This one, though, it's just once a year. You don't need to go and change the sheet and buy a new sheet every week or every other 3 months or something like this. Once a year is enough. Because I'm assuming that you have 2 sets already. So if you buy one more, you will have a 3. That's it. You don't need to have 20, of these things, unless you work with this thing or unless you are specifically using these things for a particular purpose. So, for example, you work with decorations, or you do a lot of things that are related to these things. So, for example, you go to the gym all the time, then yeah, you probably need more towels than somebody else. You do swimming, so yes, you're probably going to need more towels. Or you live near the beach and you're always on the beach, yeah, you're probably going to need more towels. So yeah, for you, it's going to be like once, every 6 months or something. But for everybody else, once a year is probably just fine. However, write down that you need to go to this place and you need to have money for these things. Because here's the deal. If you don't plan for these things once a year, not only your family and you are always going to be kind of like, I want to go to the beach. Yeah, we don't have towels, so go and get it. More expensive. You could have just gotten those things in the winter and prepared for the summer and get it now because it's cheaper and you have more time and you have easier because you can just go with your family and say, we're going to go to the beach eventually and this is what we're going to do, get blah blah blah. And the pharmacy list includes the cosmetics, by the way. The cosmetics and makeup and things like this is in the pharmacy. I'm not going to assume that you are going to be specific for this because not everybody is just going to buy cosmetics, brand, and all of these things. So you also need to buy feminine products for at least 6 months. I do recommend that you have 6 months worth of feminine products, including but not limited to face wash, shampoo, things like this, unless you're telling me that you are rented and you're not certain that you're going to stay there. But if you live in your house, if you live in this place, if you live, buy 6 months worth of soap and all of these things. 6 months. Reason being, these things take a lot of time to make them. So if society collapses, it will take at least 6 months to a full year for you to be able to see shampoo again. So your conditioner, screw it. You won't be able to find conditioner or hair coloring or anything like this for at least 6 months. Why? Well, they are not priority. And the industry to make these things, it will just takes forever for them to be able to distribute these things again. So far, we have made about 40, and it has been 1 hour. Mission not accomplished. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. It's me. So I already made a miracle by me saying that I have, let's see. 38 advices or 38 tips. And that is me considering that when I told you about their agenda, every single one of those agendas is going to be one tip. I'm not, I'm not going to say that the agenda, the topic per se is just one tip. No. Each agenda is a tip. Each one of those lists is a tip. So those lists are, lastly, pharmacy and cosmetics, hardware store, the furniture and home department, the school and office, the supermarket, the bakeries, the clothing, the sheet and towels, and there are going to be others that you want to make your own by, I don't know, because there are people that will go gardening, but if you don't have a gardening, you don't have to have a gardening supply list. And so there are a lot of things. If you're a technician, you might need your own list. If you are a designer, you might need your own list. If you are an artist, you might need your own list. And so those lists that are specific to you, I won't be able to put it together. But generally speaking, if you're going to manage your house, or if you're going to manage, even living in a car, you will need all of these things. And so, that's it. 38. Yeah, I don't know whether to cry or write, but it's me. So